Hello, and thank you for watching this episode of the Sports Detective Show on YouTube. My name is James Williams, and if you like content like you see in this video here, if you like NFL, if you like NBA, if you like college basketball, and especially college football, hit that subscribe button. And if you like this video here, please hit that like button. It will really help the show grow. I've been doing this podcast now for over 3 years, and we are just now starting to put our clips and shows on YouTube. So hitting that subscribe button, getting new followers would really help the show grow. So I'd very much appreciate that. Now let's get into the content here today. So as people that might not know, I'm not necessarily the big person when it comes to college football, following the recruitments of certain teams or players. Now, I do think there's some stuff of that's interesting. I do think there are a few players that I will kind of maybe narrow in on and like focus on. Like I covered a few of them earlier this week. We talked about Dylan Raiola flipping from Georgia to Nebraska, the 5-star USC kid that's transferring. We talked about that stuff this week. But yesterday was National Signing Day, and this is a day that is a lot of chaos in the sport. You have people flipping commitments, you have people committing for the first time, and like Florida fans are right now freaking out about Billy Napier, and another fan base or another team. I don't know if the fan base is necessarily flipping out, but I saw this on Twitter yesterday, and this kind of shocked me. And that is, if you see this here, it's showing a list of the fewest commits for current Power 5 teams as of last night. Now, those numbers have not, or at least the number I'm about to talk about, has not changed. And if you look at the top of that, the Power 5 team with the least amount of commits is Colorado, and they have 6 commits. And the next closest is UCLA with 11. This is kind of shocking to me because Deion was supposed to be this recruiting juggernaut. He was supposed to be this guy with his aura, with his charisma, with his personality, with his name brand recognition. The fact that just being on Colorado just puts you now with Deion there, puts you on just kind of another pedestal that you might not have been on. And, there's also a lot of people too that would probably, you'd say, like, would want to go and recruit with Deion, get recruited by Deion just for to learn and kind of like be a student to him being the master, where Deion was a guy that played multiple sports in college and in the NFL and in the MLB. He is knows how to deal with fame and celebrity better than probably nearly any college football coach. So you kind of thought like, well, Deion's not going to have like the number one recruiting class at Colorado, but he's going to be able to make a difference and maybe take a lot of talent that maybe would rather go to one of the other West Coast powers, maybe a team that would want to go to a player that would want to go to Texas or Big Ten power or an SEC power, and he'd maybe be able to like cultivate together a decent sized recruiting class. And kind of the question I have with Colorado here is like, what were you doing all of yesterday? Like, you didn't have that many recruits. Now, the theory that I heard with Colorado was their original plan was like, hey, we're still going to kind of rely heavily building our roster out through the transfer portal. And they do have like 15 or so like transfer portal commits. So it's not like Colorado's going to like be playing walk-ons in a lot of different spots next year. Like they're going to be fine. They're still going to have talent. But what's also very interesting to me too is Colorado, with this small of a class, had players flip their commitments yesterday in kind of shocking fashion. Now, I don't know all of them. I think there was like maybe a 4-star wide receiver or something that I didn't necessarily see the post or anything, but I think I listened on a podcast that happened, but I'm not sure for sure on that. I did see that a 4-star edge rusher flipped his commitment from Colorado to Georgia Tech. And very shockingly, if you were following any sort of like kind of national talking head show news and you were watching Undisputed last week, you probably saw this clip of a 5-star offensive lineman, what's his name, Jordan Seton, going on Undisputed. And here, I'll play this clip here. And he goes on Undisputed and makes his commitment live on national TV. And he's basically on the show for like 20 minutes, and it's just talking about like, oh, isn't Deion so great? And it's in a way it's kind of cringy in a lot of ways. Also, too, before I even go on even further, I'm not one of those people that is like a super. It's almost like I like Deion. I think he's likable. I'm not necessarily like a super fan of him, but I'm also not one of those people, because I know I've come off as negative probably here in this last 6 minutes or whatever that I've been talking. I'm not one of those people that like wants to own Deion, and it's like when he's Sportsman of the Year, shoving that 4-8 in his face. And it's like the reason they named his Sportsman of the Year is because you get to react to it. Anyway, I'll digress from that point. But I am pro Deion, because I just think like I love having different interesting characters in the sport of college football, and I just kind of find this whole Colorado saga fascinating. So, getting back to our point here, last week, this is what Jordan Seton said. This is a 30-second clip of what he was talking about on Undisputed last week.
Yeah, you gotta believe in Coach Prime. Have an opportunity to play with somebody who done it at the highest level, gold jacket level. Very few can say they did that. I got two Heisman candidates, Shadir Sanders, Travis Hunter.
You do.
They're amazing. You know how they go. Yeah, man. And if you ain't rocking with us and you say you a dog, and you claim you a dog, why you not coming to Colorado?
There you go.
Why you not helping somebody who look like you?
Thank you.
Yeah, you got.
So that's basically the clip there. So that's kind of a very much you saw that and you're like, oh, okay, wow, Deion got a 5-star commit. I saw that last week. I was like, all right, he's doing what I thought he was going to do, being a recruiting powerhouse, getting these guys that we thought, that could go to an Alabama or a Georgia or an Ohio State. And he's not getting all of them, but he's getting some of them to come and be stars at Colorado. And here is what was very, very interesting. And the reason I bring up that clip is because this also happened yesterday. Oh, wait. Right below that clip, you see here, basically Jordan Seton yesterday, he basically said like, I'm actually not going to I'm not going to sign yesterday. I'm just going to kind of like sit back and wait. And it's like, well, wait a second. If you were so committed to Colorado and you were so committed to Deion and it's signing day, why aren't you signing? So as far as I can tell right now, there's been no decision yet. But basically what everyone is surmising or reading between the lines and saying like, well, if he is going to not sign with Colorado after he committed them verbally a week ago, if he's not going to sign with them on National Signing Day, it means he's not going to Colorado. Now, you could say it says it here, if you're looking on the screen here, that it looks like the crystal ball is saying that he's probably going to go to Maryland. He is an East Coast kid. I'm not exactly sure where he is from, but it looks like he's probably going to stay out on the East Coast, be close to his family out there. But a lot of people have kind of used this to necessarily own Deion and kind of be like, Deion, you can't make it at this level, bro. Now, I do think there is some criticism of that that is valid, where it's like, hey, dude, you only had like, because when those 6 commits that we were talking about earlier, that one kid that didn't sign, that's considered to be one of their 6 commits. So really right now they have just had 5 people in this recruiting class commit. And you kind of just sitting back like, I thought Deion was going to be this recruiting power at Colorado. I thought they were going to be able to get players to come in from all over. Now their transfer class does seem like pretty legit and pretty good. So like maybe if they keep doing that, but Colorado is, this is a little shocking to me. And maybe this is going to be, again, it's kind of the Deion theory of like, uplifting the system that we currently have and the conventional wisdom of how we think we build a college football program. And can you win it the way that Deion's doing it, where you are just being very, very active in the transfer portal, where you're trying to build basically your whole team from that. Now, there are teams around the country that do build tremendously through the transfer portal and are very successful at it and have a lot of transfers who are a big part of their team. One of them, basically, who's been declared the king of the transfer portal so far, since it's become really kind of widespread with its reach with it, is Lane Kiffin. And if you look at Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss the last few years, they're getting around like 9 to 10 wins a year. Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss in the SEC, like that's very, very impressive with Lane Kiffin there. But yeah, this is like, it looks like that kid's not coming to Colorado. I don't know what this means for the future with Deion, but I'm a little disappointed. I thought that they would be recruiting a little better. I like again, the quality of recruits of those 5 guys that they have are pretty good. I think like at least 3 of them are 4 stars, which say whatever you want about like the star rankings or whatever. So they do seem like they do have some like the little talent that they are bringing in does seem like it is pretty good, but I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see if going in next year and years forward, if Deion does stay at Colorado, if we're going to have more recruiting classes like this, or maybe this is just a small bump in the road in the Deion Sanders tenure at Colorado.